let the healing begin. Because you see, we're healing in the hands of time. And we're all healing because we are aware of one great truth. And that truth is that there is an interconnection. There's an interconnection between body, mind, and spirit. It's like a holy trinity. Body, mind, and spirit. You've heard of Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Think of it as a holy trinity. Body, mind, spirit. And if we ignore any aspect of body or mind or spirit, then this holy trinity becomes a gap. A gap is created. And then we will not function at our highest level to go about living our lives. So today, as we continue in our faith series, I would like to share with you 7 keys that are taught to the staff at Agape International Spiritual Center in LA. And these 7 keys that are taught then allow each individual, each staff member, to experience a flourishing, personal, professional, and spiritual life. Again, that holy trinity. A personal, professional, and a spiritual life. Because you see, the universe doesn't recognize that human tendency in all of us to compartmentalize everything. We kind of compartmentalize, like, this is my work life, this is my home life, oh, now it's my spiritual life over here when I sit and meditate. There's really no difference between those, between our personal, professional, and spiritual life. It all needs to flow in a holy trinity, in a triad. So what is the reason that Reverend Michael Beckwith chooses to teach these 7 keys to his staff? Well, he states in Spiritual Liberation these words: we begin by emphasizing the importance of cultivating a healthy body temple, which in turn supplies the vibrant energy required for the body cells to replicate themselves, so that individuals may function at their creative peak. When we are healthy, we have a greater chance of being conduits for what is seeking to emerge at this particular stage of our planet's evolution. Reverend Beckwith teaches this because it's so important that we all function at a level of health and creativity so that we can be of service upon planet Earth. With these 7 keys, there's a physical aspect and there's a spiritual or a metaphysical aspect, which we need to begin to etch into our mind. In that way, we're covering all of our bases in body, mind, spirit, and physical and metaphysical, and our mind also. So the first key to creating a healthy body temple is to have adequate hydration. And this means, of course, drinking pure, clean water. Now, some people said to me, is this really moonshine in here? Because I just thought, well, I've learned that you need to put it in a jar, a glass container, so I measure it out, and here we go, pure, clean water. Shake it and see if it will explode or what. Pure, clean water. And we've heard since children, I'm sure, maybe our mother told us, or our teachers, that we should drink 8 glasses of water a day. How many have heard that? Yes. And so it's true. We need to really hydrate ourselves. We need to drink water to be healthy. And you know what? We can't live long without water, can we? Without air, we can't live. But I think the second thing is water, and then comes food. So we really need water. And that's especially true if you're out in the desert, of course. But while we're on the subject of water, I think this is important to really think about where our water comes from, and is it actually clean and pure and chemical free. Myself, I've told a few people in here, and the board especially, that I follow the 13 indigenous grandmothers. And these grandmothers, they go all over the world carrying prayers about the water and about the inhabitants on earth needing pure, clean water. We are so blessed in America to have water. There are some people that just do not have that pure, clean water. And they also pray about all the sources of water that have been polluted. So it might do us good also to think about that and to pray for the water systems in our world. We just take water for granted. So now let's talk about the metaphysical aspects of water. And Jesus really helped us with this when he said to the Samaritan woman at the well these words, "Whoever drinks of the water that I shall give him will become in him a fountain of water springing up into everlasting life." In this verse, Jesus is indicating that he was teaching a way of life based upon the living water of spiritual realization. If we drink from that fountain, that inner wisdom that is within us, that God source within us, then our soul's thirst will be quenched. So it's important that we drink pure, clean water for our health, and that we drink from the living water of spiritual renewal. Now, the second key to creating a healthy body and healing, if you will, the body temple, is good nutrition. And on a physical level, of course, this means eating a variety of foods that carry that life force, that God energy. And this means eating things that are grown in the soil, good soil, and raised in natural sunlight. If we eat something that's been bathed in sunlight, our body then can assimilate the nutrients into energy that really supports our immune system and maintains our health. For example, just look at the ingredients on processed foods. If you remember that commercial, it was an ice cream commercial, and the little boy or something was trying to read all the ingredients and couldn't pronounce them, and didn't even know. Do you know what polysorbate, whatever 58 is and all this, So it's so important. If you can't pronounce something on a package, I don't think that is natural, sunlit, sun-kissed food. In the metaphysical realm, however, nourishment then refers to the quality of nutrients that we take into our mind. It refers to the conversations that we listen to and that we engage in with others. It includes the type of books we read, because we're taking those words into our mind. It is also the movies that we watch, because we're taking that into our mind. It is also the television shows that we watch and taking that into our mind. It also includes people that we hang out with. So the question to ask yourself today is this: do I hang out with negative people, or do I hang out with people that uplift me? Well, there's an example of my friend, I'll say she's my friend. I know her from afar. Karen Drucker. Tony was asking about one of our favorite musicians, Karen Drucker, and she was in a workshop and she was talking about her best friend, and this friend has been her friend like forever, I guess since childhood. And this friend, though, is how would you say, maybe a little bit negative and always talking about her stuff, you know, and everything. And it just brings Karen down, she says. But she says, I love this friend, and I'm not going to just dump her. You know, I'm not going to dump her. She's going to be my friend. So when she calls up now and says, hey, how about we have lunch? She says, how about we go to a movie so they can be quiet? She doesn't have to listen to so much because she's tried everything. She's tried, I'm sure, as many of us in Unity have tried, you know, to convince or let people know, you know, when they're in their stuff, and, you know, it just hasn't worked. So she says, I'm going to keep this friend. And it's just like I shared with you back at Christmas about my cousin that I dearly love. But I had to just cut a conversation short because it was just so negative, and it was draining and pulling on my own energy. It's not that I'm going to, you know, throw him out the door or anything, but I just couldn't in that moment listen to all the negativity. So the third key, of course, is exercise. Exercise. Now I can feel a lot of you groaning inwardly, and I have to say, I'm the biggest groaner about exercise. Oh, golly. However, I want you to know, and myself to know, that exercise is so important because your body needs to exercise to fully assimilate the vitamins and the minerals and the food and the water that you take into your body. And without exercise, there's little assimilation going on in your body, and proper elimination cannot take place. Yes, I said it. I didn't hear anybody laugh. I thought they would laugh. I said elimination. But just remember, elimination is one of our 12 powers, remember, that we cover in November. And elimination, just to refresh your mind, is about releasing from our life that which no longer serves us. So the toxins and the waste in our body need to be eliminated so that it doesn't poison our body temple. Just imagine what kind of shape we'd be in if we didn't have that process. Now, I think it's very important for us to exercise, you know. And I wrote an article in Velocity, and I said, finally, I found my niche of exercising, because let's face it, I don't know if anybody in here that's going to lift weights in the gym and look like Arnold, right? And I don't see anybody swimming the English Channel. And I don't see anybody running a marathon. If they have, they've run on out of the building here. So we have to find something that really is gentle. And I have to say gentle for maybe our age group even. So God bless that Esther came and reintroduced me to yoga again, and put that passion and that love into yoga, because it's gentle and it's really a spiritual practice, and you can meditate and breathe deeply, which is so important for you. Other things are like Tai Chi. That's good. Chris Epperly taught us Tai Chi and movement. You know, you don't have to go out there just, you know, doing the Jack LaLanne exercises all day. And then there's water aerobics, I said, that's so important, especially for our joints as we get older. You know, they're creaky and everything and hurting, and so water aerobics is just so wonderful. And I know some people in our congregation that goes to water aerobics class. And I just learned of something new from my doctor and nutritionist. It's called rebounding. Have you ever heard of rebounding? I didn't either, but it's really very simple. You know those little bitty trampolines that you can bounce on? It's called rebounding. I didn't know that. And so I want to tell you that there's cheap ones up at all places, Aldi's. And I bought one. Now, I can't jump like I used to. I used to love to jump rope when I was a little girl, but I'm beginning to bounce a little. And it's so important that you bounce like that, because it helps the lymphatic system within you, and it helps with the movement of eliminating toxins. I bet you guys didn't know that. I didn't know that. Well, metaphysically then, what does exercise mean? It means that we're faithful and exercise our spiritual practices. It means that we practice and exercise what we profess that we believe in. And here in Unity, we profess that we believe in prayer and meditation and watching our thoughts and our words and our actions. Well, Reverend Michael, he drives home this important point when he shares with us on page 193 these words. To agree with the keys, and he's talking about the keys that we're talking about is one thing, so we might agree, oh, we should drink water, and we should eat good food, and we should exercise, and on and on. But to practice them, that's a whole nother matter. To read and to study and have conversations about spiritual principle is good. Of course it's good, and we come to class and we discuss and we talk about it. But unless you incorporate these practices into your life, you won't embody or integrate them. You won't integrate then prayer and meditation and so forth, and watching your thoughts. Ask yourself, how can I now move from theory into practice? You all know the principles. You all know the principles. If you merely collect spiritual information without practicing, all you will develop is a case of spiritual indigestion and constipation. That's what Reverend Michael says. So the fourth key is detoxification. And in the physical world, that means fasting for the purpose of releasing toxins that are stored in your body. And I can't personally emphasize this enough. It's such an important step. You know, back in August, maybe some of you remember, I had so much inflammation in my body and in so much pain that I was feeling like, I don't think I can go on, God. I just don't think I could go on. In fact, I was thinking, I don't know, God, if I can stand up here week after week. I was in so much pain. And first and foremost, of course, I looked at my forgiveness issues. And I go, God, I feel that I've got my issues, you know, out there. I'm forgiving 70 times 7. I'm doing my forgiveness work. But I just don't understand, God. Please help me. And so I was guided to go to a doctor and a nutritionist, and under their care, you know, many of you know I went on an eating plan and a cleansing plan to detoxify my body. And I had marvelous results with less pain in my body and with a marvelous weight loss. And I have to say, it wasn't pleasant for a few days. It certainly wasn't. It can really, you know, your body goes, what's going on? You're not putting all that junk food in there anymore. But I got better and better with each passing day. And so currently, I wanted to share with you, I'm on my second detoxification and cleansing program because I think that I just need to go forward with that. And I'm feeling better than I've felt in years, I have to say, after 2 weeks. So if you too decide to go on a detoxification program, be sure to go to your healthcare provider or to a nutritionist to really find out what's best for you and for your body type and your health issues. And I just want to say I'm going to take a drink of my drops of cleansing. It's pure water, but it's got drops in it too, okay? So here's to you. Here's the moonshine. Probably moonshine in this too, really. Well, metaphysically, to detox means, of course, like I said before, we must practice forgiveness. And that is to purify our minds and our hearts. And, you know, if you have this accumulated fear, resentments and anger and hurt feelings, you know, those thoughts, those emotions become toxic in your body. And it does cause pain and dis-ease, which can lead to disease. So forgiveness is just so very important. So keep up your forgiveness practices. Keep doing it daily. The fifth key is, this is really good. So this is more spiritual. The fifth key is giving consent to the reality that we live in a friendly, trustworthy, supportive universe. For us to stay physically and spiritually strong, you know, it's important for us to wake up every day and say, I know that Father, Mother, God is parenting me. They're looking out for my well-being. You know, they got my backside. They're cheering me on. But if you have toxic thoughts that the universe is unfriendly, that it's chaotic out there, and it's out to get you, then you're giving yourself the message in your mind that the world is unsafe, that life is unsafe, and that you may become a victim of the unknown. So then doubts and fear and worry begin to fill your mind, and it becomes the ruler of your awareness. And those emotions do produce negative toxic chemicals in your body, which then will undermine your nervous system and your immune system. And then that will cause dis-ease. When you finally realize that you can trust the fundamental goodness of the universe, it also means that you believe in possibilities. You believe in a sea of possibilities. All things are possible. All you have to do is believe. And my friends, this is the pearl of great price. All things are possible. And the sixth key is light. We all need a proper amount of sunlight just to process the vitamin D in our body. I think we probably all heard about that, about the vitamin D, and maybe we're not getting enough vitamin D. And you need 20 minutes of sunlight every day. And we're so blessed to live in the sunshine state. Just think about all those people that are up north right now in the -9 degree, I think Jason was telling me, in Michigan. So they don't have that sunlight. I can remember that. I was talking with my prayer partner, Reverend Marge, the other day, and we were kind of getting into our stuff, you know, and we were talking about negative things that happen in our life, and we were kind of going on about that, and I go, well, Marge, what's a quick and easy way just to kind of dissipate all that negativity that comes our way, you know, sometimes? And she says, this is what I do, Mary. I go outside and I stand on Mother Earth and I ground myself, and then Father Sky is up there shining down on me, and I just recenter myself. So I said, right after this call and after we pray, I'm going outside and I'm going to reground myself, which I did. And it was lovely just to take a chair outside and ground myself and sit there and feel the sunlight. And I knew then it was, you know, helping me with vitamin D assimilation, and then take time to pray and meditate. How wonderful is that? We can incorporate our prayer time right into doing something wonderful for our body and being outside and being in nature then and being back with Father, Mother, God. So how does light relate metaphysically? Well, first of all, God said, let there be light, and there was light. But light can be really summed up and described in the word quantum. And I think all of us have heard like quantum physics, and you know, the scientists are really out there. So now religion and science are merging, especially in unity. And quantum is a discrete quantity of electromagnetic energy. And what that really means is there's bursts of light that goes on and off all the time in the universe. And this burst of quantum energy gives off the appearance that everything is solid. Like it gives the appearance that this is solid. It gives off the appearance that we are solid. But where there's actually bursts of light going on within the cells of our body, right between those spaces. Burst of light energy. So it really means we are light, luminous beings. Isn't that marvelous? We're light beings. It's just that everything is vibrating at a different level and a different rate. That is the only thing. And so if we can really be able to see that vibration, we would know it, that everything is vibrating. The seventh key, of course, is rest. And even God rested on the seventh day. So we must find time for that inner rest at night, especially. So our body cells and our mental condition and our emotions and our nervous system can be strengthened and regenerated. And then metaphysically, we need to rest in God with prayer and meditation. So in conclusion today, I just quote again from Reverend Michael, and he says, "The livelihood in which we engage to support our lives and the spiritual practices we incorporate into our daily routine are for the same purpose, to experience the flourishing life we are meant to live." To experience the flourishing life we are meant to live. So my friends, my prayer for you after this month of faith series is that you will stand on that perfect foundation of faith in God the good, that you will remember the principles of highly evolved people that we talked about, and that you will begin to incorporate these seven keys to good health. So let the healing begin. God bless you. Namaste.